Hello and welcome to Comp 2 ENGL 1213. I'm your instructor, Dr. Benjamin Smith, and if I might say, you are very, very lucky. This is going to be a fun class. I teach everything from freshman Comp 1 all the way up through graduate courses. I teach mostly courses about writing and history of rhetoric, technical writing, advanced composition. But I think that maybe Comp 2 is my favorite course out of all that I teach because I think it's just incredibly important. It's sort of the crux of an education in many ways. We'll be looking at how arguments are structured, how to structure your own arguments, how to follow logic, how to deflate other arguments, how to basically understand the nature of communication at a deeper level, and also how to write really effectively. Some of you probably have the same sort of attitude that a lot of my friends have had over the years, a lot of my colleagues even have had throughout the university, that writing's hard. And I'm not going to dissuade you of that notion. Writing is hard. I know I've done a lot of it. And the thing about writing, though, is that most people think they're just bad at it, but mostly they just haven't had enough practice and experience. My students will in class, like I'm teaching advanced comp tomorrow night, and a lot of them will look at the way I write on the projector, they'll see me typing away, and they'll be blown away by these sentences that I come up with. And I just tell them, you're not there yet, but you will be. It's not like you can't be. You will be one day. But right now, you don't have the experience to get to this point this easily. For me, everything's becoming easier over time because I practice writing so much. And along the way, I've learned a lot of tricks and a lot of tips that I can impart to you and that I will impart to you. And I don't mean to brag when I say this, but some of the things you're going to learn, you'll only learn here. There's nobody else on the planet doing this kind of stuff. I know, I've asked. And I've shared some of these things with my friends and colleagues over the years, and when they've utilized them, and they haven't utilized all of them, when they utilize some of them, they found rapid improvements in their students' writing, just as I have. My students get better fast because I show you how to get better on your own. And that's what we're going to be doing here. So if you're worried about writing, or if you love writing, you're in a great company. We're going to do some amazing stuff. And along the way, we're going to talk about music theory. We're going to talk about neurology. We're going to talk about cosmology. We're going to talk about astrophysics. We'll talk about rap. We'll talk about music in general, math, life, in all kinds of things. I don't believe in limiting myself in terms of what I learn, and I certainly would want to do that to you as well. You're going to have the opportunity to write papers about almost anything on the planet, and I love that. I love reading your writing, even if it's terrible, even if you think it's the worst thing ever. I'm really excited to read it, and I'm on your side. Now, there's going to be times when you're going to feel like I'm kind of being a hard ass, and I'm being kind of a jerk, and that's okay. But I want you to know right here, right now, from the very beginning, I want the best for you. I want you to do really, really well in my class, and in general in college, and in life. I want you to be a great writer, and sometimes that means cutting out an entire paragraph or an entire page, and that's just how it is. It's just business. I want you to know that those words weren't any worse or better than the words that I've kept in your paper, but what they were doing was detracting from your overall idea and point. And so by getting rid of them, we've made what's left that much stronger. Okay? It might seem like it's kind of harsh, but again, I want you to know that I only have your best interest in mind. If I cut out a sentence or even a word or even just a tiny punctuation mark, it's not because you're a bad person or the writing was terrible or the world's falling apart. It's just because that by losing that thing, or even by expanding on something, when I tell you to expand on an idea, it's because it's going to make your paper that much better. And you're going to start picking up on how you can make things better on your own before I get to your paper, which is sort of the goal, right? Okay, that's a lot in 4 minutes. And I don't normally like having longer videos. I like to have about 10 minutes or less. And I'm going to mostly have videos for you to learn from. I'll have, of course, a lot of assignments and some PDFs to read, articles. But for the most part, I teach through videos because I don't know how else to do it, frankly. I have my PhD is in composition and writing studies. And in terms of teaching online, it's not my preferred choice. But I've been lauded for teaching through YouTube videos, and I just tell them I don't know how to do this. It seems to work, and you can watch me on your phone, you can watch me on your tablet, whatever. So make sure you do watch all the videos. Right now I'm growing my hair and my beard out, and if I show you an older video, you're going to see a staggering difference in the length of the hair. So just be prepared for that. Some of my older videos are just really, really good, And I figured, why mess with perfection? If it's an MLA format, it's just going to be one thing. So let's just show you that one. So there may be some times when you're a little confused about how I look, but I promise that I mostly wear the same ties and the same shirts, and the beard just a little bit longer. So, moving on. Okay, here's the syllabus. Let's go over it very quickly. I won't go over every little thing, but I will go over sort of the highlights. I'm in Broken Arrow at the Bala building. I'm in 274. My office number is 6415. But if you want to get a hold of me, and if you have any questions, you absolutely should. Just email me. That's the best way to get a hold of me. I have my email with me all the time, and frankly, it's just what I use for the most part. My hours are on Mondays from 4 to 7, Tuesdays 4 to 7, and Wednesdays online between 12 and 2. Now, if you can't make those times, that's okay. If you can't, just let me know. We'll make an appointment. We'll find some other time to go on. Okay? You should have Comp 1 for this. It's very important. I won't go over all the learning outcomes and the goals and the description, but basically we're going to be writing a lot of different kinds of writing, and we're going to be working on research primarily. This is an argument and research-based class. That's pretty much it. Okay? You'll have a ton of things we're going to accomplish in the course of this in the course of this class, and I think you're going to have a lot of fun in the process. It may seem like it's not fun, but I assure you it gets fun, maybe. Okay, mostly videos, some blog work with your research journals, etc. We've got really 3 essays, but there's 4 listed. Now, the 3 essays are the 2 major kinds of argument and an argument analysis essay, and then the final exam, which is a sort of reflective essay. It's not something I would worry about ever at all. Okay. Everything should be in Doc or DocX format, and in the first one will be an MLA. After that, you're allowed to use whatever format's best for you in your particular career. So if you're going to be using APA in psychology, by all means use APA. I'm okay with that. If you're using AMA as a biology student or as a doctor, MD student, feel free. If you're using Turabian, Chicago, whatever works for you. Or if you want to keep using MLA, if you're just comfortable with that and you want to keep doing it, feel free. Format's not really my giant concern in terms of the paper itself, but the file format's really important. Make sure it's Doc or DocX. I can give you lots of comments that way in those formats. That's how I'm going to give you a lot of feedback along the way so you can get your papers better. It's a revision-based class, so I want you to revise and I want you to be able to see how to make things better, not just stumbling blindly in the dark, right? Okay. Save everything. It's really important. We're going to have research journals because I do believe that students are never bad or good. They're just experienced or inexperienced in their writing ability. And journals are one way to do that. And with research, most students have very little experience with research at this particular level. I've got tons of it, but I got the vast majority, like 95, 97% of it came after high school and really after my freshman year even. So a lot of the things that I'll be asking you to do were things that I was just starting to do as a freshman as well, like going to the library on a regular basis or using academic journals or even encountering different formats of those journals. All these kind of things were new to me, and I'm sure a lot of them are new to you. Maybe not everything, but if they're not, it'll be a little bit easier. And I've tailored these questions to be applicable to the online environment. So when I say things like go to the library, I mean go to a library, preferably a research library like the one we have on campus, but your local library, if you don't have one nearby, your local library will be fine as well. Okay. So, discussion posts, we're going to have a lot of materials to discuss, and you'll write some short discussion posts and then respond to your classmates, and we will get that started as early as week 2. I'll have an introduction board for us going later today. Okay, all this stuff is in the syllabus. If you want to read over it, feel free. The last major assignment is the anti-bibliography. It is something that, as a researcher, I think you're going to need, and it will help you get prepared for your final essay, your final major essay. Okay, the book is Engaging Self. Here's the backwards version of it. Second edition, and I will be posting a ton of articles and videos to Blackboard in addition to that. There's some great stuff in here, but there are certain areas that I want to emphasize more than others, and there are certain articles that I really want us to read, especially this year more than ever. This has been, as I'm sure you know, sort of an era of quote-unquote fake news and alternate facts, and I wrote for a newspaper for a while, and we worked very, very hard on our stories, and I know journalists even today, and I don't like them being called fake because they work very, very hard. Now, certainly, there are definitely articles that were absolutely fabricated in some way, shape, or form, or people who were writing feature pieces that were fabricated. Those are the outliers. Those are rare. A lot of what we're going to be reading that's in terms of the PDFs that I'm going to bring in are how we know things, what's called epistemology in philosophy circles, and how our brains kind of get in the way of us learning and knowing things and changing our mind, cognitive biases, as we call them. A lot of things like bias are misunderstood. A lot of things like basically logical fallacies are misunderstood. And I want to make sure we have a good basis for understanding debate. And what I mean by debate is not shouting matches. What I mean by that is the ability to engage with others in an academic argument in order to come to a conclusion about something. It's not so much about shouting louder, it's about persuasion based on evidence. And so when I talk about those things, I'm pulling those articles because I want to go further than the book already goes. Okay. Grading scale, if you're concerned about your grade, let me know. The earlier you contact me, the earlier I can help you. But it's a standard A to B ski scale. Not too worried about it. Policies and required information, if you have any questions about that, please let me know, but I'll let you go on that on your own. It's a lot to take in. Okay. Every week, I have outlined for us a number of articles, a number of videos to watch, topics. Make sure you're checking into the Blackboard Classroom every single week and watching those videos. Like I said, for the most part, I try keeping them under 20 minutes, usually around 10 if I can. Some of them just go on for a while because they're big topics, and I don't know how else to get it done in 5 or 10 minutes. So, block out some time. Because it's an online class, I'm relying on you to be able to focus, not just do this like on a coffee break or a smoke break, but to really take your time for this class. My hallucination, even my impression, is that you're taking this class for any number of reasons, but I'm still teaching the class. I still have to value the class and what it's offering to you. And I don't think that there are impossible obstacles to overcome when it comes to education. I think that online education does impose a few more obstacles than a face-to-face class does. However, the problem that a lot of students have with online classes is that they don't pay attention enough. They don't stick with it enough. I need you to stick with it. Okay, I used to have this video, and I may still post it, about how to take an online class. But the gist of it was like any other class, show up every single day if you can, or show up a couple times a week. Have a schedule for that stuff. The idea of online classes, of course, is that you have no schedule. But that doesn't work, because if you're like me, and I am very much guilty of this, if I don't have to do something, I probably won't do something. Scheduling a class that you have to be at some place, it obligates you to be there. You're more likely to be there. Online classes don't have that. The idea is that it's a luxury to be able to do classes at 10 o'clock at night or at midnight or 2 in the morning or whatever. But the fact is that often we sort of let it slip by. Don't do that. I was told early on that the key to college is go to class and you pass. And it rhymes, so I had to believe it. And when it comes to this stuff, you may let it slip. Don't let it slip. Get back on it as fast as possible. Every week we'll have a bevy of things you have to go through, that you get to get through, that you will learn from and garner more information. And I've tried to pick articles and videos that are engaging, that are interesting, and interesting not just for nerds like me, but for most people. And I think I've done that pretty well. You're going to like some things more than others, obviously. And I can't just give you, a circus full of fun, happy things. That sometimes it's going to be hard work to slog through, that you're going to have to work at it a little bit. That's good for you, right? So, take a look at the syllabus. I'll be posting these articles and these things as soon as I possibly can. Some things will be posted well in advance. Some things won't be posted well in advance, and for good reasons. I want you to build on your knowledge before you push ahead too far, maybe skip around. I have an intended cycle for the curriculum, and going outside the cycle can only confuse people at certain levels. So, and it's not because of your ability, it's because it has to logically make connected sense from what we came from. This would confuse anyone, myself included, if I went from, say, week 1 to week 9. There's no logical connection there until I fill in the gaps. Okay? So, having said all of that, just so you know, we can have an introduction to each other. I have a PhD in rhetoric and composition from OSU with a secondary area in technical professional writing. As you can tell, I've given this speech before. I have a master's degree in English with a focus in film studies from UCO and a bachelor's degree in film studies from OU. I have a lot of Oklahoma degrees. I'm way into guitar and retro gaming, which was contemporary gaming when I was doing it. I am a big fan of comic books. I've got a massive collection that's way too big. I really love writing and composing in general. I love film, obviously. I taught a film class this semester for the first time, even though I have 2 degrees in it. It took forever to finally have that happen, and I was really excited, and it was great. I'm a big fan of just trying stuff and seeing what happens. I'm a big believer in art and art for art's sake. I try to write every single day whenever I can, and most days I accomplish that. I've been published for poetry and for my adaptation theories on comic books and the philosophy of time. What else? Other stuff I can't see from my desk. I've had plays performed. I just finished my first novel a couple months ago. I'm working on the second one because the first one was terrible, but it was done. I love the act of creation. I think it's the closest we get to sort of the transcendental. I play music for the same reasons. I compose music for the same reasons. I'm able to, as Zay Frank once said, the constant level of anxiety is sort of mitigated by the act of creation. I'm at my happiest and most well-balanced when I'm making something, whether that be carpentry or building guitar pedals or a pop song when I'm writing, or a small haiku even. Making things, especially with the written word, drives me in a really satisfying way, and I think that for a lot of us it does too. I look at Twitter and I'm blown away by the volume of information and ideas that people are putting out there on a constant basis. It's a strange sort of technological miracle in that regard. So, having said all that, we're going to read great people, we're going to read great works, we're going to read some not so great works, we're going to read things that challenge us, and we're going to write things that challenge our perceptions and our ability to understand the situation. The world will be enhanced by all that. So, if that sounds kind of heavy and you're not into it, no hard feelings. But if you're ready for a really cool ride, I'm ready to guide the way. And I'm only going to guide the way. You're going to be the one walking. Okay? As I'm sure it was in some martial arts movie a long time ago, I can only open the door. You have to walk through it. I know it's from something. I can't remember what it is. I'm sorry. So, that said, if you have questions, anytime, please let me know. I'm happy to respond and help in many ways as I can. So, have a great semester, have a great week, and look forward to more videos, more assignment sheets, all kinds of stuff in the coming days. I'll see you then.